let's talk about your Patriots, Christopher.
I mean, we don't really have to.
No, you know what? Here's the problem. Let me just say this. Okay. We live in a culture where either you're a winner or you're a loser, and that's sad, okay? I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Okay? Coop, yesterday in the third, fourth quarter, he's just like, man, I got to go to school tomorrow. I'm going to hear crap. And I'm like, Susie and I were like,
unless you're a Seahawks fan, nobody could say anything.
Right. Like, get out of here. I'm like, we're like, get out of here. You root for one team that 15 others would give their left you know what for to represent the American Football Conference in a Super Bowl. You know, they would kill to have a quarterback like Drake Maye, many of them, or a coach like Vrabel, or a general manager like Elliott Wolf, and a bunch of young studs who are becoming, you know, really good to excellent football players as a team. They just ran into a better team on Sunday in many respects. And the same thing, this is what happens in playoffs in any sport. In any sport. And if you get past the first 2 or 3 rounds in that sport without it biting you, then you're really good. Because at some point, like I've said many times with baseball, if you've got a problem with left-handed hitters, or if you've got a shortstop that can't range one certain way, or if you've got a center fielder that can't track a ball down here, if you've got somebody who cannot catch but hits, and you hide them in a certain spot in the field, the baseball is going to find that every time. You got a guy who can't defend on the perimeter in hoops. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, you're going to get caught.
Yeah, the Patriots' biggest weakness all season was the offensive line,
the
left side in particular, and the Seahawks' greatest strength is their front line. What did we kind of think was going to happen?
I'm telling you, there had to be moments in the last 2 weeks where Vrabel and his offensive staff and McDaniel's, a quiet moment, were like, "Yeah, what are we going to do here?" I think let's come up with a plan. Well, but we are outmanned here. And
whatever the plan was, it clearly wasn't obviously.
It wasn't
good enough. But just conversations with my Pats friends during the game, it was like, where were the bubble screens? Where were the quick dump offs to Ramondre and Travion? Where were the design rollouts for Maye to kind of let's get him moving? And maybe the run pass option was there. It just seems like McDaniel's got pretty badly outcoached, and there was no answer from the jump. It was very clear early on that the Pats probably weren't going to score any points, enough points to really win the game.
Well, let me just jump in here, if you don't mind, to basically tell you again. If you don't, we'll just put it up again. From my perspective, this is where I was sitting on the second level behind the Seahawks end zone. Yeah, there it is. And so this is the view I think a lot of coaching tapes will be seen from obviously closer in. This is a little far away to see some things, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is I had great views of the way defenders were defending.
Yeah, nobody was open either.
No one, Chris, this was not a game plan issue. This was not a play calling issue. This was
I don't know about
I'm just saying that if we played this game 100 times, 99 more times, would you have a couple of shots to win it? I think so. The Seattle Seahawks, though, majority of them just coming out and just beating the crap out of the trenches. And it doesn't matter. Bubble screen this, quick game that. It didn't matter. They were everywhere, and they're coming from everywhere. And Drake Maye clearly isn't 100% healthy. And Drake Maye had a bad day. And Drake Maye had a bad day at the wrong time. Yeah. And part of it is because he wasn't protected. And if you cannot protect up front, it's a wrap. Mm-hmm. It is a wrap. And this thing was a wrap from damn near jump. You could see that the Seahawks were just lying in wait. You know? The big brother waiting for the little brother to come around the corner to just jump out and jump scare him. That's literally what I was seeing yesterday on Sunday night. That's what I was seeing. And And I don't know, would other teams have been better equipped?
Probably not.
You know what? I can't sit here and say a Bo Nix led Broncos team could have done, could have won the game. I think they might have given a better shot at it. Maybe. I don't know, because they would have been able to better protect their guy, who also doesn't take sacks. And Drake Maye took a record number of sacks for a quarterback in a postseason. Now, it's fortunate enough. I mean, that stat will be used against him, 20 sacks, and it'll be used against him in a way that, like, hey, it's a team game 1-2. The reason why you have so many sacks to take is because you played 4 games in the playoffs, which is the goal for pretty much every team. If the goal is obviously to be a bye week team to win the Super Bowl, like, say, the Seahawks just did, but you played 4 playoff games, and you got a young team, that arrived sooner than expected. And so that's my glass half full view of this thing. A lot of people are going to be like, they were fugazi, they had a bad schedule, or they had an easy schedule all year, and they got finally shown up. They won the games they needed to win in front of the people that they were playing against. They did it 17 times this year. They did it 14 times in the regular season, and they did it 3 times in the playoffs. They won 17 football games with Drake Maye as their quarterback. They got boat raced in a Super Bowl. That does leave a mark. And, you got Drake Maye talking about how he was proud of the team. He was proud of the way that everything went down. And he got really emotional.
Man, I'm so proud. That's probably the reason I'm choked up most. This team is something that just glad to be part of.
Yeah, it's got to be tough for him, clearly, that he envisioned greatness. He envisioned that Brady moment, or he envisioned doing it for his teammates. I just gave you 2 individual things, and probably landed on the real thing is that he knows there's a bunch of guys in the room in a quarterback-driven league that he feels like he let down, and that includes his head coach, which has really got what got him going.
Yeah, he was a heartbeat. No doubt about that. He was he's a big reason why we're here. He's always the same, and look forward to my relationship with him for a long time. He's a great person and hell of a football coach.
Well, and I'll just say this to Drake Maye, even though he's probably not looking for my 2 cents. Hey, Drake, in the same way that Darnold became the first of the 2018 class to go to the Super Bowl and he won it, you're the first of the terrific, clearly, 2024 class to get to the Super Bowl. And no matter how bad you're feeling right now, no matter how you feel like you're putting it on yourself, okay, Jaden Daniels wishes he had that chance last year, and he couldn't do it against the Eagles. You did. You did. And you showed guts and determination all year long. Arms, legs, the whole thing. And this is only going to make him stronger. Mike Vrabel also, for you Pats fans out there, he's not going to, whatever, he knows what went wrong, and he knows how to fix it. And this is him on seeing the disappointment on his players' faces, including his quarterback.
We spend a lot of time together, and I'm sure he's over there talking about all the things that he has to do to improve and what he could have done better. And those are the types of guys that we have. I care deeply about them, and I'm confident that they'll be back and they'll do everything that they can to help this team and improve. And we won a lot of football games with the guys that we have, and Drake's a big reason why we're here. So I can't wait to get back and coach him again. I'm sure they're going to want a break from me, but the show goes on. We got to get back to work.
They will. You got to. What a dream! What a season! 17 wins.
Yeah,
and
incredible.
and the whole business of their schedule, you can only play who you play. They got better each time, and then on top of it, they went into Western New York, and everybody thought this was the Bills' season. Beat them. I know they lost the Bills later on at home. The Ravens were a stout team, feeling that they were they were ready to go on a run and, as you know, almost won their division. They took care of business there too. And then they won 3 playoff games, and this is only going to make them stronger. And last year they had a terrific draft. They got all these young stud players. I'm not going to sit here and boat race and say Maye is Fugazi and this team is Fugazi. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, next year, a lot of the teams that weren't in the playoffs, we think will be back. It'll be a tougher road, but they're more road tested than anybody else. It was their first loss away from New England all year long on Sunday. So,
yeah, kind of funny just looking at the stat, the box score right now. Drake Maye had a better passer rating than Sam Darnold.
Well, that dude.
That seems off. That's
no. That game,
yardage.
the game was over.
No, I
and he started winging it around.
Just look at the box score. Also, I feel bad that Christian Gonzalez's performance is going to get kind of lost.
Oh, he was terrific.
He kind of erased JSN. He was amazing.
There was a big
night.
moment at the end of that first half. Okay, big moment where Cooper Kupp. It looked like he had an incomplete pass, but it looked like he caught it.
Yeah.
I thought he eliminated.
Well, and I turned to Cooper and I said, "You want this to be a catch?"
Yeah, so
because that would run the clock down to 5 seconds, and you'd be forced to forcing Seattle to kick a field goal here, and you get out of Dodge. Yeah, you're down by 9-0, but you get out of Dodge because they could come back now with the extra time and throw a touchdown pass.
Yep.
And the flip side almost became true when they did rule it incomplete, and they did have another shot at the end zone, and Jackson Smith-Njigba was open, and Darnold, because again, from my perspective, they're going away from me, and I saw this thing. JSN was open, and Darnold threw a dart at him, and Christian Gonzalez undercut it and almost damn near picked the ball off, and they would have had no points.
Yeah, that play was sick.
That was a crucial sequence. He was awesome. And he's like all-pro greatness. He's all-pro great.
I'm going to have to pay that, man.
Remember, he was my pick to win MVP.
He was awesome.
So everybody in New England, enjoy it. It was a great ride. And don't boat race. It just wasn't your night. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.